Welcome. My name is Craig R. Harmelin. I am an advisor in the study abroad area of the Office of International Affairs at UC Merced. Welcome again and good day. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us for Study Abroad for Engineering with the UC Education Abroad program, or UCAP for short. To get us started, here's an overview of our agenda for this session. As we move along, you are welcome to ask questions in the chat window and we will answer them as we can. Today, we'll discuss why study abroad is good for engineers, look at some of the possibilities, and then get into some of the nuts and bolts of study abroad. That is the application process, academic credit, finances, financial aid, scholarships, and unique funding for STEM students. We'll then pivot to discuss some of those issues that impact the accessibility of study abroad for engineers. At the end, we'd like to leave some time open for Q&A, both with the UC Merced Study Abroad team and with undergraduate advising in the School of Engineering. Now, perhaps you already have an idea in mind of why you want to study abroad or what you'll get out of it, and that's excellent, that's great. But why does UC Merced encourage you to pursue it? Why is this a priority for the campus? There are myriad reasons, but here are a few. By going through the UC Education Abroad program, you gain access to 28 of the top 100 universities worldwide, according to the latest rankings. Now imagine how varied the expertise of engineering departments might be in the best universities across Japan, the UK, Singapore, and Australia, and the unique courses and research opportunities that come with that expertise. And on top of that, students can automatically fulfill the new global awareness general education requirement at UC Merced. While we usually tout the academic benefits because of how they fit your degree requirements and career aspirations and satisfy financial aid requirements, you might be here more for the personal reasons. Again, the benefits are innumerable. Study abroad usually results in a greater level of independence and agency among students. Because study abroad is not always a walk in the park, you learn to work with new resources and support networks. Second, study abroad means meeting new people, connecting in new ways, and expanding your network. Imagine having professional, research, or academic contacts in places like Israel or Chile. Lastly, consider what study abroad means for your career. Because study abroad students navigate challenges from passports and travel to a new culture, maybe even a new language. They build life and coping skills. Now let's talk up a few programs specifically for engineers. This is by no means a comprehensive list, but it is a starting point. Lunds University makes the list for a not so obvious reason. Most Swedes take their upper division courses in English. This might be a good fit for mechanical engineering and CSE majors. Tohoku University hosts the Engineering and Science program with a focus on research projects in English in addition to Japanese language and culture. This is especially popular for students interested in robotics, but not exclusively. The University of Sussex and others host introductory physics over the summer. Imagine knocking out a year's worth of physics in 8 weeks. It's intensive, but hundreds of students do it across the entire UC system. Now, if you need a suggestion based on your major, here are some ideas. We've already mentioned the Japan and Sweden programs, but Yonsei is another option for bioengineering students to take courses in English. NUS in Singapore has the distinction of perhaps offering more majors that line up with UC Merced than almost any other UCAP option. Again, all in English. MSc is usually a field reserved for grad students outside the US, but Australia is an excellent destination for MSc undergrads to find coursework. Here's another grid comparing the availability of coursework in some of the most robust UCAP destinations. You can see how readily available traditional fields like mechanical engineering are abroad, but students in bioengineering, MSc, and environmental engineering may need to be more intentional about their study abroad destinations to make progress to degree. Now let's move on to the application process. First, you can search through the My Study Abroad portal to find programs, dates, and deadlines, as well as links to individual programs to learn more. From there, feel free to initiate as many applications as you want. Just know that you can only submit one app per term. From there, you want to meet all application, scholarship, and even FAFSA deadlines to ensure the best chance of success. Now, the great thing about UCAP is that all credit is UC Merced credit. It shows up on your transcript, it counts toward your units and GPA. What you need to consider, though, is how courses from abroad apply to your degree requirements. Consider UC Merced's or consider UCAP's catalog of courses like UC Merced's catalog. All courses count toward units and your GPA, but you want to be strategic about taking what you need to complete your degree requirements. Now, because UCAP courses aren't in UC Merced's catalog, you will usually go through a course approval process. Engineering has a course approval form to substitute SOE requirements, and you may need the equivalent form from natural sciences to fulfill a course that might be taught in an area like physics or chemistry. The same for SHA area requirements and a SHA equivalent form. Now, what does a bird's eye view of the timeline look like? Our recommended process looks a little bit like this. First, start with a little personal research to find the program or programs that fit your best interests, usually academic interests. Now, are you not sure where to start? Ask a study abroad advisor. Second, follow that by asking the right questions. If it's an academic concern or a concern about mapping out your degree, you should work with your academic advisor. If it's about comparing costs and scholarships, usually your best bet is a study abroad advisor. Now, you want to plan on applying far enough in advance that you can complete paperwork and other requirements, like getting a health clearance or other logistics that you need to handle. Then you want to work on your FAFSA and ask your study abroad advisor about scholarship availability. Start saving up for fun and personal and non-academic expenses you might anticipate, such as travel plans outside of your program. Lastly, keep up with your academic advisor. Keep your academic advisor in the loop about changes to your academic plans, including courses. Now we have some practical, if not repetitive, advice. Please communicate early and often with your academic advisor. We know things change. You find out new courses are available or your original course plan just falls through. Second, know that you need to be organized. You need to stay on top of your academic requirements, and you may need to make contingencies. Lastly, while we encourage you to aim to fulfill as many of your major requirements as possible, you should have a fallback position or multiple fallback positions that include taking perhaps up to half of your courses abroad or fulfill general education requirements or meet personal enrichment goals. We have some more practical advice. While statistics show that students who go abroad tend to complete their degrees in less time, know that for many, staying at UC Merced an extra term is a possibility if the stars don't fully align. Note your semester abroad counts as part of your 10-term limit for the School of Engineering. Just as we mentioned a moment ago, have course fallback options in case one or more of your courses isn't accessible for some reason. And know that study abroad is intended to build greater adaptability and flexibility. We encourage this particularly at the point of selecting a program to give you a better shot at completing your degree requirements on time or keeping your study abroad costs down. And speaking of costs, let's talk about financial aid. First, as a UCAP student, and because UCAP is a UC program, your federal, state, and institutional aid travels with you. We work closely with the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships to make this happen really behind the scenes. Next, know that while summer may appear to be cheaper, the net cost for students may actually be higher than a semester due to financial aid. The general rule of thumb is that the more you lean on financial aid, the higher the net cost to you for summer. Finally, you should know that financial aid is packaged based on your total minimum costs. That means that financial aid is including not only your tuition, books, and fees, but it's also going to include your round-trip airfare, housing, estimated meals, travel and medical insurance, and incidentals. If your cost of attendance goes up, you might be eligible for additional aid. And if your costs go down, you might see your aid actually reduced. As an engineer, know that you have a little bit of an edge over other applicants for certain scholarships. One of our favorites for US citizens who receive the Pell Grant is the Gilman Scholarship, which gives a little more in its application scoring to STEM applicants. You should always recognize in a scholarship application that an established scholarship will have stated goals or outcomes. If your study abroad plans align with those target goals or outcomes, you should address that in your application, but always in proper context. You often work this into a scholarship essay. Lastly, if you have multiple motives for study abroad as an engineer, consider some of the other awards like the Freeman Asia for study in East and Southeast Asia, or the Bourne Awards if you plan to also study a foreign language like Arabic, Korean, Portuguese, Chinese, or even advanced Spanish. Here I'd like to give you some UC Merced examples of past participants. First, Kosuke took advantage of a research project at IMAI Lab in Japan, which focuses on interactive artificial intelligence. Second, Sam studied at number 62 ranked University of Queensland in Australia and had the opportunity to pursue a pair of research fieldwork opportunities, including one focusing on coral algal interactions on Heron Island in Australia. And then last, Mindy took advantage of volunteering opportunities while pursuing mechanical engineering at highly ranked Lund University in Sweden, and has often cited her experience in a mechatronics course she took there, in which she built circuits by hand. Now, once you're ready to dig a little bit deeper, we encourage you to connect with us, even virtually. Normally, we're located on the ground floor of Collegian Library, but we're meeting with students over Zoom and Microsoft Teams. If you have a country in mind, we encourage you to schedule an appointment with a study abroad advisor, especially that one responsible for the study abroad destination. And you are welcome to explore and research your study abroad options on your own, online or by email. Finally, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. At this time, if you're listening to this live, we would like to open the floor to any questions you might have about studying on UCAP as an engineer or any related concerns. And if you're watching this after the recording, you are more than welcome to contact us online or simply to send us an email at studyabroad@ucmerced.edu. Thanks again.